Now, some people like to watch Netflix of an evening, others like to scroll about on their social media, but not our boy Rex Patrick. Rex likes to do FOI requests. The man's an FOI freak, putting hundreds of the things in a year to hold governments to account, reveal their secrets in the public interest. And this week, the former Senator and Navy submarine guy Rex Patrick was absolutely stonkered to read the actual FOI amendment bill.
With Scott Morrison, at least you knew he was being secret. With Anthony Albanese, it's worse because he likes to portray himself as transparent, but is not.
Floor seats for the Knicks. Couple models blowing hits. They don't even want to pick. Want to lick up, want to... Yeah!
This bill, which is extremely important in the public interest, is a bit like the government's last campaign finance bill, which was presented by the government as a reform, but was actually an excuse to pay the major parties more money and squeeze the independents and minor parties. The amendments to the FOI Act are a disguise for making public information harder to get from government. It's a shocker. And you can read some of the detail here. The guts of it is that it's down to the Libs to knock it on the head, the good old Libs, the coalition. So you see, the Greens and the minor parties won't go for it. They don't like it. It blocks public information. So Labor can only get it through with the assistance of their coalition colleagues. Will the duopoly, will the Lib-Lab duopoly prevail? Or will the Libs see the sense in voting against it because they're in political Siberia for the next 6 years? And they can hold the government better to account. The whole thing's very disappointing, really. Still got a bit to go, given Albo's once impassioned speeches in favour of transparency. Here's Albo back in the day.
Journalism is not a crime. It's essential to preserving our democracy. We don't need a culture of secrecy, we need a culture of disclosure. Protect whistleblowers, expand their protections and the public interest test. Reform freedom of information laws so they can't be flouted.
We must reform the FOI laws, address secrecy, advance protections for whistleblowers. Well, he's certainly gone diametrically in the opposite direction with this FOI amendment bill. Check out the smile on David Pocock's face. Priceless.
Senator Pocock, this is a really important reform because this is a transparent government. We are an open and transparent government.
So by the way, just a quick house ad. This video is brought to you by you, the viewers. We don't take money from advertisers or big corporations. You pay for it so that everyone can read it. We're 100% community funded by readers and watchers like you. So if you want to keep independent journalism alive, head to Patreon, The West Report. Now, what is the definition of transparency? Well, according to Rex, it's a word that is shouted from the opposition benches, but not practiced in government. Doesn't matter who is in power. Now, what is the importance of FOI and transparency? Well, in a democracy, voters need to know what's going on to make informed decisions. Otherwise, look at the media this week. Full of the ISIS brides and the Nazi, not Nazi marches, the March for Australia, and Dictator Dan with the axis of evil up in Beijing. There's no irony apparently in the fact that our ally America has backed the lads from ISIS, that's Giuliani, etc., the new president of Syria, ex-ISIS, now in government in Syria. Meanwhile, up on the Goldie, the intellectual centre of Australia, it was all happening this week with the big anti-Semitism summit, the all-expenses-paid junket for mayors and local councillors to wrangle them into kowtowing to what the Zionists call the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, IHRA, which makes it very difficult to criticise the state of Israel. So while the slaughter was going on apace in Gaza, the war crimes daily, our local government representatives were hearing from the Zionist lobby about how bad it is to criticise Israel, a foreign government. That's pretty much what the IHRA definition is. They want to ban people from saying negative things about a foreign country. Doesn't matter what they do. Instead of banning this foreign interference up on the Gold Coast, our elected representatives, from Deputy PM Richard Marles to Susan Lee, opposition leader, to David Littleproud, the head of the Nats, they were all up there, or they were all at least giving Zoom addresses. Julia Gillard was on the ticket too. They were all holding forth at this foreign interference junket. How's this for a scam? How is this for a scam? The organisers issued at the end of the week their action plan and booklet on anti-Semitic symbols. So if you read these two in conjunction, the game plan here seems to be inveigling governments, inveigling our local governments, our councils, into a regime where you are not allowed to wear, let's say, watermelon earrings or sport a T-shirt with a red hand on it, because these, according to the Zionist lobby, are symbols of anti-Semitic hate. Don't you worry about freedom of expression and freedom of speech. They're now pushing for an introduction of a regime in local government in Australia where you get reported to police for wearing the wrong T-shirt or chanting something like River to the Sea or Free Palestine. Anti-Semitic, apparently, Free Palestine. I mean, fair income. What is next? What are they wanting to lock us up for saying nasty things about old Benjamin Netanyahu? Cashy would say yes. He was cashy. Cashy was at her very best doing cashy stuff this week, trying to get a motion up in Parliament to condemn Iranians. And the media was busy, of course, on the Nazi not Nazi rallies, the March for Australia. I mean, to be fair, there's no doubt most of the people there were not Nazis. But the certain sections of the media allied themselves with the Nazis. As Tom Red put it on Twitter, it wasn't a Nazi march. The Nazis just organised it, marched, gave speeches and bashed people. The lingering fallout from the Marches for Humanity a month ago was still doing the rounds. All this finger-waving about the Hamas supporters on the Harbour Bridge, those hundreds of thousands of people, these Hamas supporters, including yours truly, marching for a free Palestine, are all Hamas, as are the surfers apparently paddling out in the Paddle for Palestine today at Bondi Beach. The Hamas surfers, according to the publicly subsidised extremists, let's be kind, at the AJA. Although the event is organised by Jews for Hamas no doubt, the AFR, Jews for Hamas for sure, it's happening at Bondi today, so have a paddle out.
I want to ask you about the pro-Palestinian rally plan for Bondi Beach on Father's Day this Sunday. Are you doing anything to try and shut it down?
Yeah, so I've been very firm on this. I think it's highly provocative. It's completely unnecessary, and particularly on Father's Day. I've raised this issue internally with council, with local members of parliament, the police, and I've also written to the police minister about this as well.
The iconic Bondi Beach. Meanwhile, the AFR held its big property summit this week. Property's always been the AFR's biggest source of income. And at the property summit, the inevitable findings were made that supply was definitely the problem with rampaging property prices. Definitely the problem. No, not negative gearing, not CGT, tax relief, family home, scams, or the influx of foreign money forcing up prices. Not on your Nelly. The property sector, of course, puts it down to supply. Although it was mentioned, to be fair, that first home buyer subsidies might just go straight to higher prices. Straight to property developers. Funny that. So who are we to give this prestigious award of Scam of the Week to this week? Well, Albo's been hogging it a bit lately, as you do if you PM. So let's share the joy around and award it to the Attorney General, Michelle Rowland. A fine lover of sports bet is Michelle for her achievements in defending the FOI amendments in Parliament, on the grounds that they didn't just reform the FOI system, but they were necessary because the FOI system might fall prey to criminal gangs and insidious foreign actors. Reminds us of the Josh Frydenberg claim back in the day that making billionaires report their financial statements like everybody else might put them at risk of being kidnapped. Because there's only one thing Kidnappers like more than rummaging around in the ASIC database, and that is putting in a sneaky FOI request. Those kidnappers, those murderers and fraudsters, they just love filing an FOI. Come on down, Michelle Rowland, your inaugural prestigious award, Scam of the Week.